two additional. And we had a
Yes.
good one. We already have one commercial washer and dryer, and we need for 400 boys to have three.
Right, so we need to, so we either need to figure out where to put it here or somewhere else to put it, but we do need two washers and two dryers.
Yes, sir.
Is the
Right,
location,
yeah.
is the location gonna change which, type of washer and dryer you get? Or you're gonna get this washer and this dryer, whether it goes here or there?
Yeah, whether it goes here or there, it's the commercial grade washer and dryer that we need to accommodate the clothing is the same.
So we got the additional two.
Yes, it doesn't matter where we find it, yes, ma'am.
So we're gonna look at bringing in, possibly the price of bringing in more water, is that what you're wanting?
Yeah, I think they should look into that, come back with options to make it more clear before we just give up and say, let's put it in.
But in the meantime, though, I make a motion that we approve the purchase of the two washers and dryers tonight, so that at least we can get that underway, and in the meantime, we can investigate the other part. So I'll make that motion.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Mark.
Hold, you want to hold off on that motion?
Yeah, that's fine.
Go ahead, continue.
Coach, I also was going to talk to you about the next aspect of progress that we're making here at the high school. With our facilities.
When we pulled up to the state golf tournament in Austin, I asked Dr. Moreno to humor me, and as I snaked through the parking lot, I pulled up next to a bus. I said, Dr. Moreno, this is the bus who we're going to be beating soon enough. It was Argyle. Argyle right now is the standard in Class 4A, and that's what we're working on right now. 4 weeks ago, Dr. Moreno, Mrs. Martin, Mr. Engelke, and myself took a tour of our campus. It was a facilities walk, and we wanted to see what we could do to make the best use of it. The night that Coach Lane got here, he got here about 10 o'clock on a Tuesday night and was as excited as could be. One of the things that struck him about our facilities, he said, this place has got great bones, and we all agree. We're trying to, or we have come up with a plan to make the best use of the bones in this facility and make it as efficient as possible. Some of the things that we'll be doing, we plan to do is moving our training rooms into the field house for one large centrally located training facility for all student athletes. Right now, Coach Nickel has got two different smaller facilities. Coach Lane is taking a look at the building and facilities, and that's the one area that she will have access to boys and girls. We want to see if we can't standardize everything as far as all facilities. This will also include our junior high athletes. So it's going to be where it is currently located in our field house. We'll also be relocating new weight equipment to the field house weight room. I think it was about a year ago that the school board took a little tour, a mini tour of what was going on here at this facility. We're hoping to take before and after photos as well, and we're looking forward to giving you a tour of that. Coach Lane's athletes and coaches have already started moving some of the equipment from the upstairs weight room to make room for the plan. We're going to be relocating field house weight equipment to Gym 3. That's the upstairs weight room and the storage area behind Gym 1. Right now, we're using the storage area behind the junior high gym as just that, a storage area. Mr. Engelke has helped us out with, bless you, taking a look at what's needed in there, what needs to be revamped, improved, moved out to make room for what we're planning. We're also going to convert the current 500 weight room into an athletic indoor practice facility. And we've been coming up with this plan now for a little over a year. With Coach Lane's arrival, he's expedited it. The facility will be used for baseball, softball, golf, soccer, and football for inclement weather days. One of the things that played havoc for us coaches this spring has been the weather. I cannot tell you how many track meets have been canceled, junior high and high school. Sub-varsity baseball games, non-district softball games, practices of all kinds. So we're going to use what is now the weight room in the 500 building for this multi-purpose indoor practice facility. The boosters will be asked and have agreed, if everything goes as planned, to pay for the nets and cages as needed. This will be for the baseball, soccer, softball, and golf practice. The equipment that's being housed right now in the junior high are mats, pole vaults, high jump, hurdles, a lot of the track equipment. Those are thousands of dollars of equipment. You want to make sure that those are stored and cared for properly. Mr. Engelke has helped us out. We have located a place underneath the home bleachers. In fact, it's right below the press box, so it's out of the weather. There will be a 10 by 52 storage area. There will be a roof so that inclement weather will be held out. This will come at a cost of about $8,000. It will not obstruct the flow of traffic or walk traffic underneath. We have a lot of fans that move in and out to the restrooms, the concession stands. This will be out of the way directly underneath the press box. The district labor and supply cost to convert the training room in the 500 building into a laundry room is going to be about $4,100. So we're looking to upgrade for efficiency. We're believing that this is going to save the district quite a bit. Rather than building new facilities to house some of these things, we're going to use what we have and just, I don't even want to say repurpose it, just upgrade it.
I'm confused on the track and field.
Yes, sir.
Equipment storage.
Yes, sir.
How is that not going to impede in the current flow?
Yes, sir.
Maybe I'm envisioning.
You've got three areas underneath the bleachers. One is underneath the bleachers in a cramped, no headroom space. The central part is the walkway. There's a large, it's probably 8 foot wide. The third part is towards City Park, directly underneath the press box. There's no flow of traffic under there. It's completely on the City Park side of the concreted area.
So this is outside?
No, sir, it's within the fence.
Within the fence?
Yes, sir. It's within the stadium.
But people do walk. I go to football games, they're walking up and down the whole thing. Maybe they're standing there.
Perhaps so, yes, sir, but the walkway itself, the central walkway, is usually the area that people are walking to the concessions and restrooms.
If you can, I just don't know the traffic flow, if it's going to be an issue. We'll be able to get in and get out.
No, sir.
No, this is underneath, where you're talking about, underneath the press box, it kind of comes out and there's a corner where the fence is that we have now, and so it starts in that corner. So it would take that corner of standing room out so that we could have storage.
And for 52 feet, is that what it's saying?
Yes, sir. It's 10 feet wide out to where that walkway is,
Yeah.
in between the pillars, the structure pillars, and then it's 52 feet is what we needed. That ties us into another structure pillar underneath that would be, it's a natural break.
And you said we're just fencing this, with the fence around it?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So you'll still be exposed to weather, just not perpendicular.
Yes, sir.
And so the sun will still, will that degrade any, I mean, is there a concern about it being outside and?
No, sir. As a matter of fact, and I'm glad you brought the question about the sun. A lot of times, just to get our athletes out of the sun when they're finished with their workouts, that's the area that we take them to.
So I'll explain what we're gonna do. What we're planning on doing is taking that cutout, it's 10 foot by 52 feet. There's approximately a 10 foot by 200 foot area in that whole strip. What we're gonna do is take the 52 feet, fenced off with chain link, probably 6 foot tall, master rest. Put the plastic lattice in there so it's kind of blocked from everybody all the way around, so the park's not looking at it. And then we'll put a roof, I think it's 12 feet tall, so they can put their high jump mats and everything in there, stack them. It'll also eliminate any food that comes in that falls from the bleachers. It'll roll on out, but it'll come onto our property, so that way we get it in. So it'll be covered from the roof, and then the slats should cover the majority of it. If it is above the fence line, then yes, it would get some exposure.
And the 8,000 is for that?
Yes, sir. Correct.
Is there a concern about where the fence stops and the roof starts for vandals to call in and take stuff out? I mean, is that the
They
non-issue?
could, they can get in there, I mean, if they wanted to, they can get in
I'm
there.
just saying, should we extend the fence all the way to the roof?
It could be extended.
I mean, is there a reason not to do that?
We could very easily do it because we're going to have to run a pipe up the support post for the little roof. And we can do that, close it all in. And like I said, just keep people, grab double gates in front so the massive easily got to the roads and everything. But yes, we could close it up to the top.
Because that equipment is fairly expensive stuff.
Yes, sir.
Where is it currently used for?
So there's a facility behind the old junior high gym. There was originally a dressing room that's been renovated and cleared out as strictly a storage building.
And what that facility will be used for now is, I'm not going to say exclusively a junior high, but a third weight room to be used mainly by the junior high.
At this point, that additional room has really been underutilized, and it's been one that really hasn't had much of an investment at all. All the plumbing had been taken out, all the lighting. I think at one point it was even talked about it was going to be knocked down, but when we went and walked it, I mean, it's a good building. It just needs a little TLC, it needs some paint, it needs some fresh electricity back in it. It's really just a wasted space, but it's, Mark, roughly how many square feet do you think that is? I mean, it's huge.
It's probably about 30 feet by 40 feet, between 12 and 1,500 square feet total at least.
Yeah, and when we're begging for space, I mean, it just makes sense to invest some money into it and make it a usable space. It's got a newer roof. When I say newer roof, when the junior high gym got a new roof, so did that section.
And so, y'all are asking for the additional 8,000 then?
No, ma'am, not today.
You're just-
Not today, we're just giving you. This is, that, I would say, you know what, it wasn't, we didn't have the bid back in time to get it on the agenda for budget. That's why they got it back to Mark this morning, the bid actually came in. That is the, y'all asked at the last meeting to give you a comprehensive needs. I'm letting you know this is where we all are and what we're gonna need at the end of the day. Again, I can't go to today because it didn't make no sense. But that is, after this, there is no more coming back and saying, okay, well, there's something else, we need this, and we need this. This is our comprehensive, this is where we are today, and this is what we need today to move the program forward.
Do you anticipate that storage amount, is that more than what you currently need? Or is it what we currently need and it's going to be more a year or two from now? Or,
For the track,
yeah, the 5x52 space, you think we'll be using all that up?
Yes, sir, I think so, but we'll have additional storage. We're not going to be built to the brim, and I especially like your idea, if we do move that fence to 12 foot, and that's going to help tremendously. Because the mats, if y'all can envision the pole vault high jump mats, they stack up pretty high. So it's the best way to fit them in. So with your suggestion of having the fence 12 foot, we can get that much more equipment in there. There's a way to utilize that space without extending the 10 by 52.
And I guess I was asking because is it one of those where, I mean, if we truly believe it's not the first space that we need, and there's 3 other sections like that, right? I mean, that's one section and then there's another.
yes, so there is room for growth if that it was ever needed, but again, the space that we've identified as 10 by 52, that'll store every piece of track equipment that we have.
And we don't have other stuff we need to store as well. I mean, it just seems like storage space is usually an issue. So I didn't know it's now the time to say, well, let's make it 2 of the things or something like that.
We can do that, absolutely. Going forward, we can use as much of that space underneath as y'all allow us to for storage, to make it uniform so that it's, again, it looks the same across.
It really is incredible space. When y'all are back there at any time, you will see it is wonderful to use, and it's not being used. So, yes, sir, it can always be used in the future. We can always add on to it. I think fairly easily, just the way the structure's set up.
All right, I have to go backwards, and I apologize for having to do this. That was approved earlier. All right. Just make sure we do this right. All right, and then finally, our personnel needs. Like Coach also talked about, Coach Nickel, our trainer, she's servicing right now approximately 1,000 student athletes from the junior high to high school level. We feel it would be in the best interest of our staff and our student athletes to request the addition of a new teacher coach position specific to an athletic trainer, so that we could have 2 athletic trainers facilitate the growth of our program, because like we talked about with the plumbing structure, the growth that everybody's talked about is here. Our district is expanding, and that would allow our trainers to accommodate our practices. Right now, you have 7th through 12th grade boys and girls practicing. There's no way that Coach Nickel can be at this facility as well as the baseball and softball facility outside of town to help with injury prevention and help with the hydration of our athletes. So we feel that it is in the best interest of our current program and the growth of our program to consider adding a new position of an athletic trainer and teacher. That'll also help foster the growth of a sports medicine program. Right now she has a great base, a great starting. I think she has 34 girls is what she's told me, 34 girls in the student trainer program, with an additional trainer that's also teaching sports medicine classes that'll allow them to develop that program. And then an additional 5 days to all coaches. Right now, our coaches are set up on a 187-day contract plus 10 additional duty days. And I have a calendar if y'all would like to look at this either now or in closed session to kind of describe to you our dates. August 3rd is when 2 days practice starts for football and volleyball and cross country. That is 10 days prior to their contract start, so that our coaches could show up on August 3rd with the student athletes. That's what they're getting paid for right now. And we'd like y'all to consider adding an additional 5 days, which would allow them to come in July 27th to have that prior week for staff development and preparation, just like our teaching staff has, to prepare for when the students get there on the first day. It's the same thing. We need time to plan practices, time to evaluate equipment, time to get our program organized and ready and prepared for our student athletes when they do show up on August the 3rd for practice. Because right now, that contract, the way that it's set up, does not allow that. Our basketball coaches, those are the Coach Cofer, our new basketball coach. He has no football or cross country or volleyball duties. His 5 additional days will be served over the Thanksgiving and Christmas holiday breaks during the tournaments. The basketball plays in tournaments over those time periods. And then I'd also like y'all to consider a stipend or days increase for our summer strength and conditioning positions due to their additional days that they're working. We have 4 people that are going to work. We have 2 people that are working 17 days this summer, and then we have 1 working 15 days and 1 working 13 days. Those are the football coordinators and a girls strength and conditioning coach that's going to be up here to work our summer strength and conditioning program. And I've given 3 options here for y'all to consider of how to address that need in paying them for their service. Option 1, which is the recommended option, is that we add a strength and conditioning stipend of $2,500 each available to these 4 workers. Option 2 would be to extend the days on the contract. The downfall of that is if we're already on 197 days and we add 227, then we're looking at another 12-month employee. And then option 3 is to pay 3/4 of a daily rate for every day that every employee works during the summer strength and conditioning program. The reason I put 3/4 is because our work day is going to be from 6:30 to 12:30. That's 6 out of 8 hours for consideration. I would like y'all to, whether that's to be in closed session or not, to consider increasing the stipend
My
for
concern,
those people.
my concern, Coach, with the stipend is that with the stipend, it doesn't tie up to days. It doesn't say, that they need to be here for certain days. So, that would, the other 2, at least you're getting time for that money. Whereas I don't get that from just an additional stipend.
Yes, sir, and with the additional stipend, this is across the state of Texas, with that increased responsibility, that is a way to, it's an assumed role. I'm assuming the role of this summer strength and conditioning program, and I understand what that entails. And I understand that $2,500 is my additional pay for that service.
Is there something that would be in writing that would let them know that?
Absolutely. We can absolutely sign, when they sign their stipend acceptance, we can tie that in, yes, sir. So that it's a secondary contract, basically.
Dr. Miller, I'd like to add something to that as far as, you used the word bargain, but the last several years, one of the concerns that we really haven't had a viable solution for is our open gym facilities. Part of what Coach Lane and I are planning on is an open gym. We'll have 6 weeks of strength and conditioning program throughout the summer. Part of the responsibilities of the coaches that will be there on duty is going to have multiple open gyms. This is going to be open up to the students of our district. There'll be supervision. It's against the UIL rules to do any coaching at all, but we're now going to have open gym. We have discussed this at length with some of our head coaches. We're going to be giving summer camps for our youth, our younger kids, but our older kids are going to get the benefit of something that we try to push, get out and play. That's how you develop your skills. So this is another way that we can open up our facilities to our students and have it be supervised and safe and raise the bar for our athletic programs.
The open gym would be for any student, not just athletes?
Yes, sir, it is. In fact, when we post, we will post this. This is open to any student at Vernia High School and junior high school, whether they are in athletics or not.
You mentioned the basketball coach, coaching only basketball.
No, so I said he doesn't have a football or volleyball or something. He's the head basketball coach. He's also our assistant tennis coach.
Okay, during the 10 additional days that all the coaches get, you tied to starting preseason football. The basketball coach isn't tied to doing that, but he has 10 additional days. No, all the coaches
No,
have 10 additional days.
Yeah, all coaches
So
have
I'm
10
saying if
additional
basketball
days.
isn't tied to that, then isn't there Christmas time already covered by that?
Christmas and Thanksgiving, they have tournaments over both holidays.
Right.
So that's why I think he needs the additional 5 days as well. Because he's had 3 weeks of school break, Thanksgiving, and the 2 weeks of Christmas break, that he's either practicing or participating in tournaments with the exception of Christmas Day. Or Thanksgiving
Oh, so
Day.
you're saying Thanksgiving and Christmas comes to 15 days, so it's 10 days and 5 days. Right, is that what?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, those are the days that he's serving additional.
But I understand your question. Is he coming in on August 5th right now? I mean, or August 3rd?
Right now, yes, sir. he's
He'll be
scheduled.
coming in August 3rd, even though he won't have coaching responsibilities at that time for those 10 days.
Yes, sir, because it's another opportunity for him to prepare for his basketball offseason that's coming on and making sure all his equipment.
So
But he's on a 197-day contract right now.
right, but to what Mr. Barnett's saying, if he's on a 197-day contract right now, our schedule, and he doesn't have coaching responsibilities during those 10 days, perhaps a better option would be to have him come in on August 10, and then his other 5 days would be Thanksgiving and Christmas, rather than him having 2 additional weeks at the beginning where he doesn't have any coaching responsibilities, doesn't have any kids, and then adding 5 more days, so he'd have 15 days with 10 of them with no kids. Does
It's
that
like
make
a
sense?
start date, man.
So that in order for it to be equitable between basketball and what we're talking about with the other coaches, he said the reason for the 5 days for the other coaches for these other programs was so that they would have 5 days of preparation, right? So if they've got 5 days of preparation, right now he's got 10. And so rather than have 5 for them and 10 for him, maybe you move his schedule back to August 10th, he's got 5 days of preparation, and then regular contract, and then he's got 5 days for tournament
Sliding
Does that make sense? Is that what you're saying?
Contract days,
But you're still saying add the 5 days.
No.
Are his days over Christmas and Thanksgiving, is that going to be more than 5, or is it gonna hit right at 5? Is it?
Mine, you just take out, the only days that he can't have a practice or a game is Christmas Day and Thanksgiving.
So he'll absorb those 15 days, I mean, he'll have 5 days, well, if you push the week back, he would have the 5 days preparation for August 10th. But then
But he's
those
still
other
got
10
those-
days are still gonna be used, so it'd still be 15.
So he's gonna coach, or have a tournament every day of Thanksgiving and Christmas break except for Thanksgiving Day and Christmas Day.
That's what I'm saying, those are the only days he can't have a practice. Those are the only days that he can require us,
But they
our kids
do.
to have a practice. They practice over the entire break, minus the holiday days.
And how, okay, so what I'm gonna go back to, so is that a full day that they're practicing, and they spend the whole day practicing? Is it an 8-hour day?
That's where it wouldn't be, and I understand that.
Yeah.
I understand that logic. However, you have a coach up there for running practices, as well as getting preparing for tournaments or possibly hosting tournaments. Their days are gonna be covered.
Well, we're not making a decision today, right?
Well, that's something that we're proposing, so we can continue planning forward as far as the 5 additional days. And the one thing I would ask the trustees to consider, and maybe we just need a little bit more explanation on that, or the actual plan, is if there is any type of professional development you're providing as far as team building with your coaches when they all come in, then that would be, again, I think a need for him to come in early, even if it's 1 or 2 days, whatever it may be. But I think we need to know exactly when that would be.
July 19th through 22nd, Coach Gopher's going to be with the entire football staff at the THSCA coaching convention. Our basketball staff's going to summer clinics, and that's outside of their contract days. But they're sacrificing that time as well.
Yeah, and again, it's not about that, I understand that. I'm just thinking from a perspective of equity, is how much time is he gonna put in comparison with the others? And are we looking at equity in the planning days that he's got, because he's not tied to football, and the days that the football coaches and all these other coaches have? Is there equity between those? Because I also know that, some of these guys work on Saturdays. Well, that's not counted as a day. And so it's not exactly 1 for 1, So we say, well, yeah, he's gonna come up and do a 3-hour practice during Thanksgiving or Christmas. What about the coach that's there on a Saturday working with kids? Are we gonna start counting that as an additional day? And so that can become really hairy. I'm just, but if the intention is to provide planning days or preparation days, I just want to make sure that we're doing that in a way that is equitable.
Yes, and I absolutely understand what you're saying. And I can, before the next board meeting, take the basketball position, the only coach that we have that's not affected by my request on the stipends. And I will put together his exact contract schedule. These are the days that he needs to be able to work a full service day. And then I would ask him to revisit that at a future board meeting.
Well, because I like your idea of all the coaches being treated the same.
Yes.
Right, so as far as the days he's working, you can work out that. We're not approving the actual days per se, we're
Yes, sir.
approving the number of days. And then you would figure that out.
Yes, sir.
So the question is, does his schedule warrant 5 additional days like the other ones do?
I think holidays. Because it's 3 weeks of holidays.
Yeah,
That's going to be Christmas week.
and it may, but
Like I said, the basketball position is something that we can, because I understand exactly what you're saying.
But if he started 5 days later and we gave him 5 additions, there's still 5 days out there that very much 3 weeks.
Yeah, maybe it's only, so I think it works.
So just to clarify, are we okay with basketball, or are we needing further clarification on?
Everyone's getting
I would just caution starting to include the days that are over the summer to go to professional development, just because teachers do it all the time. Classroom teachers are always giving them summer days to go do that. The ag teachers have the kids overnight there, so just as far as some of the summertime professional development, unless we're gonna start paying every teacher for every day they go during the summer, I think we need to be careful with that.
Not include that in there.
That's just my opinion.
All right, so you'll get us a plan for the basketball coach,
Yes, sir.
okay?
Yes, sir.
And we'll bring that to the next board.
So can I ask you, Katie, question on that? Is this included in the budget that you're gonna, or that we have here in our packet? Those 5 additional days are already included in that budget?
Yes, sir.
For everyone?
Okay, thank you.
So the only thing we were gonna make a motion on is the washing dryer.
We already made
I
one.
know we are. But I'm saying, that's the only thing we
How much is over?
That's already covered.
And
Call the
then
question now.
additional side.
And the additional stipend for the 4 restricted conditions. We're looking at the 4 summer conditioning stipends. We're looking at the helmets, which is already covered, the shoulder pads, which is already covered,
5 additional days.
and the 5 additional days
All
for everyone
coaches,
except for the
minus
basketball.
coach, who will revisit it.
And, yes, athletic trainer.
And all that's in your budget already?
Yes.
Okay.
The washer and dryers, I'm sorry. the
Right,
washer-
right.
All of that
But
is
I'm just talking about the
$10.
personnel.
The payroll,
All
yes.
all the payroll is already in the budget.
Yes.
For the new trainer, for an additional trainer.
The trainer, do we have that on our list? I'm sorry, we do not have the trainer in the budget. Thank you.
So what does that mean?
I'm hoping. Probably 45,000 plus benefits, another 15% for benefits,
Out of fund balance,
possibly.
assuming revenue doesn't change.
Yes, sir. And depending on our new hires, their salaries.
It's hired me.
I don't think that was an HR approved statement.
I was joking.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm gonna go ahead and do the motion on the, complete the motion on the washers and dryers. I have a motion made by Dr. Miller, second by Ms. Kravitz, to purchase the 2 washers and dryers, not to exceed 25,872. Is there any other discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries 6-0.
I'd like to say also, that would be for the cost of the washer and the dryer. Now, if there's gonna be any installation or plumbing, that'll be something we'd have to look at.
I move that we extend all coaches' days, including the basketball coach, to 15 days. No, just for the days, one piece at a time.
Okay, I'll second. I have a motion made by Mr. Barnett, second by Ms. Chalk, to extend all the coaches' extra days by 15.
My concern is, I don't know that that's justified for that other coach. That's a week, you're about to go for it.
Understand, I just believe you can figure that out. 3 weeks of practice.
have a motion. I already said that. Any other discussion? All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries 5-1.
That's how it works, man. I'm fine with that. Oh, I'm sorry. Anyone?
Make a motion to provide the $2,500 stipend for 4 strength and conditioning coaches for OCAM.
I'll second. I have a motion made by Ms. Charles, seconded by Ms. Reinhardt to approve the $2,500 stipends for the 4 strength and conditioning coaches and for their summer duties.
That's gonna have a specific wording with the cycle,
Ma'am?
like we discussed.
Yes, as discussed. Other discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries 6-0.
Is there a need for additional sports medicine classes? Yes, I would. Additional classes for sports medicine, is that something that's in the high school? Is there a need for additional sports medicine classes? The application?
Basically, have there been additional requests to continue building on that? Develop more classes for it?
That was my road, so I would say that we have,
Can you stand up here?
Each year, I want to say we have enough kids for every athletic period, and each year it grows. I don't have the numbers readily available with me right now. I can look and see if I can find real quick how many sections. I think I took a picture of the master schedule. Maybe have something to tell you.
Janet, is that what you're asking, that it's gonna be a teacher,
well, that was
what they're
that's my
gonna teach?
understanding. Correct.
It was the athletic director and trainer and coach and teacher.
Yeah, the question is about if we hire another athletic trainer. Number one, we know safety-wise is to have an additional person. But the main question is, because they teach the sports medicine classes, are there going to be enough students to continue another section or other sections to be able to have the teaching component of that?
What I would suggest is I would probably have Coach Nickel do the more advanced kids because she's established a group of kids, and then the new person come in and do some sections with the beginning students. And maybe some of those students work with junior high and some of them work with high school. That would be my suggestion. So there would be, I think there would be sections that she could work with the kids. Some of the groups are larger than others, but right now I don't have the numbers because didn't know that question.
I move that we table that item until after number 13 on our agenda.
Well, you didn't put it in motion form.
I move that we table the motion.
You didn't have it. I have a motion made by Dr. Miller, seconded by Mr. Barnett, to table the discussion on the athletic trainer. The hiring of an athletic trainer. Any other discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries 6-0.
Appreciate that.
to have presentation and update on refunding bond series 2015.
Trustees, again, at this time, Ms. Kate Burke will talk to us and give us a presentation on the refunded bond.
Good evening. Okay, you have with you a red folder. The refunding bond series 2015 information should be the first item. We have refunded bonds in the amount of $9,110,000. And that's on page 1. Page 2 shows the board approved a minimum present value savings of at least 8%. We received a present value savings of 16.33%. The third page shows a total net savings of $1,488,000. So this is a savings about $90,000 a year for the life of the bond. Any questions on that?
Today, we have a presentation of new third-party administrator first financial group volunteer products for the 2015-2016 school year.
And trustees, Katie's also going to present you the process that was utilized to get to this point. Okay?
The next item in your folder is an overview of First Financial Group. The district has been with Web Insurance for many years for our voluntary products. After discussing with the Finance Committee, we decided to form an insurance committee of employees from all campuses and departments to look at different companies and to see what services and what products they offer. The committee included 15 employees. I had asked the principals and directors to have 2 employees be a part of the committee to represent their campus or department. I sent out requests to 4 companies to come and present to our committee. 3 companies responded. On March the 18th, the committee heard the presentation. Each employee went back to their campus or department to give information to other employees and to get feedback to help them in making their decision on which company they felt would benefit the Vernia ISD employees best. The committee met again a week later, discussed and voted. The insurance committee voted for First Financial Group. The committee will get together on this Thursday, to look and decide on products. First Financial will begin their services for the 15-16 school year. Do we have any questions?
So did you say if this is approved, then they'll look at what products to choose?
No, I'm sorry, third-party administrators do not have to be approved. We don't pay for their service.
So is this replacing Web?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is just a notification?
Yes, sir.
Next, presentation of budget and consider approval of pay scales, stipends, and pay raises.
Okay. In your folder, the next section is budget update. You'll have a little packet like this. I'd like to go over kind of where we are with the estimated budget. We have received our preliminary property values. So we can start for the 15-16. You see on the left side, there's 14-15, the right side, 15-16. So we're looking at total revenue of $24,395,000. That comes from local income of $9,700,000. That includes taxes at $9,432,000. That is a $778,000 increase due to property values. And there's also miscellaneous income that consists of a lot of different things. This is revenue generated from gate receipts from athletic events. This is interest for the general fund, quite a few different things, and I see an increase in that of 33,000. Then we move on to state funding. We're looking at $14,249,000. The foundation school program, we're looking at $12,043,000. Our state funding actually increased due to ADA, average daily attendance, but it's decreasing because we're losing $205,000 due to Rider 71. Vernia ISD does not pay into Social Security, which means we have to pay an additional 1% to TRS. They funded that for us this year. They're not going to fund it next year. The available school fund, that $853,000, has increased about $97,000, again, due to ADA. On behalf is money, it's kind of in and out money. We spend it in payroll, but we also receive it from the state. It's something that we record. It is increased because our payroll is increasing. The E-rate, I see about the same of $40,000. The federal funds we receive in Fund 199, our general operating fund, is about $445,000. We should receive about $382,000 this year just on our SHARS report, school health and related services, plus additional money throughout the year for Medicaid reimbursement. The Medicaid I have here on for $45,000. That's actually for MAC, Medicaid Administrative Services, so the administration part of that. Do we have any questions about the revenue? Okay, well, I'll go ahead and move to expenditures. Payroll, I'm looking at $19,472,000. That's an increase of about $600,000. We've added quite a few new positions over the last couple of months. And so far, those are in here. The athletic trainer, I'm sorry, is not in that payroll amount. The all others, the services, supplies, miscellaneous travel, and capital projects is $4,922,000. I have not requested back budgets from the campuses or departments until Friday. So I'll know by next meeting a better distribution of where those amounts will be. You also see on the payroll amount, it does not include a salary increase. So we can go, unless there's any questions, we can go to that second page. I just wanted to go over some different scenarios for salary increases. You can see that we have a few at the top, salary increase estimates with a star on it. Underneath that, we have a percent increase, a step increase, or we have step plus percent increases. We have the different amounts for teachers, administrators, campus paraprofessionals, transportation, child nutrition, custodians, maintenance and grounds, technology, and administration support. So if we look at the estimates, 1% for professionals, step for all others, that's about $330,000. 2% professionals, a step for all others, $457,000. And 3% professional step for all others, $587,000. 1% plus a step for all except for administration is $463,000. 2% plus a step for all, $623,000. 3% plus step for all except for admin, $788,000. So those were just a few that I put together. But then you can see all the separation for each department below.
Do you know how much the step, just the step increase for those that get that, what percent is that be?
The step increases for all of the support staff is anywhere from 1% to over 3% in between steps.
Right, but I'm saying if we total them all up.
I didn't do that like I did for the teachers and the admin, because if you look at 1%, almost all of those are gonna be under what just giving them a step would be. 2%, about half, would be under what just giving them a step would be. So I didn't think that that was something that we'd want to look at, that we'd want to do. Because for most employees, it would benefit just to give a step. Do we have any questions on that?
So the last three, that includes admin. Yes.
No, I'm sorry. Yes, it does include admin, but the admin won't move a step because they're on the midpoint scale. So I'm sorry. Do we want, I'm sorry.
You figured the percentage be for the admin, equal for the midpoint.
No, ma'am, I did not on this one. Do we want to move to looking at the pay scales and kind of, we have pay scales and stipends to look at, and then we can come back to this.